The term fallen angels and demons may be used differently in different religious and mythological texts. In some traditions and beliefs, fallen angels and demons are seen as synonymous, meaning the same entities. In other contexts, however, a distinction is made between the two. In the Christian tradition, for example, fallen angels are usually associated with angels who rebelled against God and were cast out of heaven, including Lucifer at the head. These angels are considered demons, evil spirits who tempt and influence mankind to destroy and turn away from God. However, there are angels who descended to earth, mingled with women, and gave rise to the Nephilim, not always called demons in religious and mythological texts, but are also considered fallen angels. In the Book of Enoch and some apocryphal texts, these beings are usually called fallen angels or sons of God because they were originally angels but rebelled against God and left the heavenly realms to descend to earth. They disrupted the divine order and taught humans various skills and knowledge, but also brought destruction and sin. The term demons can be used in different religious traditions and mythologies, and depending on the context it can mean different entities. In Christianity and Judaism, some of these fallen angels may be seen as demons because of their activities to tempt and destroy humanity. For example, in various mythological and religious traditions, the name Azazel can be associated with both angels and demons. This causes some confusion, as its role and nature can vary from source to source and interpretation to interpretation. In the myth of the fallen angels and the Nephilim, which is described in the Book of Enoch and other apocryphal texts, the fallen angels are usually referred to as guardians. These angels, guided by one of the fallen angels named Azazel, agreed to leave the heavenly realms and mingle with the daughters of men, resulting in the birth of the Nephilim. According to this mythology, the guardians taught humans various skills and knowledge, but also taught them forbidden and magical practices that led to corruption and destruction on earth. After discovering these sins, God sent the archangel Michael to overthrow the guardians and bring them to judgment for their fall. So, the guardians were fallen angels who came down to earth and committed a sin that led to the birth of the Nephilim and the struggle between them and the heavenly powers. This myth has its own interesting history in apocryphal literature and is part of the religious and cultural traditions of some communities. In the beginning of all time, when the world was just beginning and the stars were not yet shining in the sky, angels inhabited the celestial spheres. These spiritual beings, creations of the highest, were not only beautiful but also powerful in their loyalty and devotion to God. Prominent among the angels were the sons of God. These angels were special, closest to the throne of the highest, and possessed outstanding holiness. However, as is the case in tales of the fall, an incipient temptation entered the hearts of some of them. They began to experience a strange and forbidden feeling, love for the daughters of men. The women of earth were utterly enchanting in their eyes, and this love was no ordinary passion. It was a crush of the soul, a misunderstanding of their own nature. And so, the fall of the sons of God began. They decided to leave their heavenly abodes, abandon their angelic forms, and descend to earth to mingle with the daughters of men. They gave up their holiness to experience human existence. From this embrace of the heavenly and the earthly, something inexpressible arose. The Nephilim, born out of this bond, became a new form of life, neither angelic nor human. They possessed a divine power and perhaps a beauty unlike anything that had ever existed on earth. But in them also resided the mystical and mysterious essence of their angelic parents. In some sources, the Nephilim were presented as giant monsters who brought chaos and destruction to mankind. Such an event provoked the indescribable wrath of the Almighty. He observed how the mingling of the heavenly and earthly gave rise to a new form of life that was contrary to his design. The bitterness of the betrayal was all the more grievous because it happened on earth, among people whom he himself had created in his own image and likeness. Then Archangel Michael, the leader of the heavenly host and God's representative, was sent. He was entrusted with the task of holding back the fallen angels and the Nephilim. Swiftly and mightily, like lightning, Michael and his angels swept toward earth. The battle that broke out was fierce and epic. It enveloped the entire world in what was later called the days of the flood. However, in some other religious and mystical systems, especially in later Christian and Jewish traditions, the name of certain fallen angels such as Azazel became associated with a demonic entity linked to the idea of desolation, sin, and temptation. In this context, Azazel can be seen as a demonic being. For the demon Azazel, see individual videos on the channel. Including other demons will have their place on the Devil's Narrator channel.
Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven.